Hi, folks. Audio and video check. Hiya, hiya.
Uh, Audio of the microphones properly.
Yeah.
Okay. Audio and video check. Can everyone hear me, man?
Yeah, let him know you can hear him, please.
It is my word slur. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. When somebody shows, when P-Man shows up, I gotta talk to him about something in particular. So, this week is more waiting. We're waiting for the gold foil and the copper sulfate for the leaching solution tests. And we're waiting on sulfides from Central America to do those tests some. As far as I know, they still haven't been sent out. Apparently, shipping things from down there to up here has some complex technical things. I'm not sure exactly where we are in the process. Last I heard, theoretically, it wouldn't be too hard to get some sulfides up here at the modest rate of only $150 per kilogram. I don't know if that excludes any complications or whether or not there were still regulatory complications involved in that at the time. I was kind of thinking from the sounds things like, yeah, it's no big deal as long as we pay $150 a kilogram. And the delivery time would theoretically be 2 days is all. So it's obviously air freight somehow. But thank you, Mr. Virtue. But that's
Yeah, that was a nice looking pan. We're hoping the next samples that we get from up there that we picked up are going to show the same kind of thing. We're not sure what rock that was, but I told him I'm thinking it's probably one rock.
I suspect, and I agree with Eva, that probably one of the rocks that got included in the buckets. Did we take 2 buckets from that dump, or just
We took one bucket from the right hand thing, one bucket from the left hand. If I remember rightly.
Basically, there was a bucket of rocks from that dump. And I kind of suspect that one of them was really, really rich. Okay. The dump on the other side of the hole, it also showed significant silver heavies, silver colored heavies. And the stuff up above also showed significant silver colored heavies. Now, not nearly as substantial as that one did.
Yeah, there's something going on over there. No, we do not know yet, honey bunny. We don't know jack squat about it yet.
One of the problems was when I first panned it out, there was a piece of material that looked like about the size of, say, number 7 birdshot that had been run through the rolls and turned into a little disc. And I said, hey, little one, look at that. She goes, picks it up and drops it in the grass. So we didn't get to...
So you see, after all the work I did this weekend, he gets to dunk on me about something that happened a week and a half ago.
So...
just typical.
When I look at the other larger size particles in that pan, and I took a pair of needle nose pliers. Oh, you're there. A pair of needle nose pliers, and just grip them and then squeeze. They clearly crunched instead of squished. And so I don't know how anomalous that one was or anything else, but didn't seem like worrying about too much.
Well, let me put it this way, honey bunny. All on my own, on my auntie Donty self, without him even around this past week, I found 5 or 6 other holes, 5 or 6 other divots and dumps worth exploring, plus 2 actual holes in the ground worth exploring. So what I found could be worth gazillions, even in Zimbabwean currency.
Yeah. So I suspect a lot of this, I can just go get the pan right now. Ugh. You want to hit that light little one?
Yeah, I don't think that chunk was worth a darn thing. It just gives him something to yap about for the next, until the end of time.
Anyhow, so
We all know what dude is like.
here's, because it's coating the bottom there, that's a lot of material, but I suspect it's mostly some sort of pyrite, but it could easily be silver containing galena or something like that. I simply don't know, but I still have more of that material. Yes, Zen Pop. Galena would be lead sulfide. Did you weigh it? Not at this point, because I didn't have a good idea exactly where it came from anyhow. It was good enough to say, okay, we need to figure it out. So that's what this weekend was. I suppose it could be a Telluride. I say I haven't worried about even doing any more analysis on it at this point, because we took more samples, because if you have an oddball rock, where did it come from? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Kind of hard to tell.
And since we ground it up without even knowing which one it was, we don't know what it looks like to look rather oddball.
So this week we went out there and we took a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 samples direct from bedrock. Unlike Top of the Hill, in this particular case, we do have the mythical mineralized rock in place. Okay. So we have samples from various places. Plus, Eva went up in that area that we got that sample from and kind of hand sorted rocks according to kind of subjective criteria that she was concerned with. Okay. And so we'll take those sounds. The plan is to go out to the ranch tomorrow, crush it all up in the RC46, and hand pan the samples. We also have, say, with the samples that we took, which was, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 there. But also, Eva took quite a few samples when she was out hiking and exploring. And so get those crushed and panned. And then, assuming we find a material that has a substantial amount of the silver stuff in it, we can go ahead and pan down a reasonable amount of that. And how much samples do you harvest? In this case, Mr. Virtue, it's pretty easy because we're literally about 120 feet from the road and we're uphill. So when we were taking samples, I just had to hike the buckets downhill. And so about the smallest sample was half a bucket, call it 20 pounds.
When I was out and about, I try to get about 5 pounds in a bag, in a gallon Ziploc bag. If I had my way, I'd be getting 5 or 6 buckets of everything I want. But sometimes there isn't enough.
So anyhow, we've got probably 20-pound samples to start with on the stuff from the across the road hole. And we'll crush them up, pan them down. We could do that, Brian. It would certainly be quite feasible. There's also a fairly easy route that could be smoothed out for a quad to get right up to the top part of that hole. So it's accessibility is not a big problem here. But first we need to find out whether or not we need to. Once we've panned some samples from this stuff, we'll select the most interesting ones to go to Hittle for analysis. Now, the sample I took last time, this was years ago, was probably from that rusty looking spot. Because just looking at that, it's like, well, there looks like the ore pile right there. That's probably what I sampled. And it ran a 1/10 gold. What was it, almost 4 ounces silver, I think? So about 4 ounces silver. So it's a substantially higher silver to gold ratio than across the drainage over at Montana B. And we'll just have to see. And I'm setting up the new kiln that the gentleman from Central America purchased for experiments for me. And I can take this pan full of stuff here and I could roast it tomorrow. And unfortunately, that particular kiln has it's got carbon crucibles that insert from the top. And yeah, it could be hard to tell, honey bunny. But so it's a little harder for us to actually do an assay. We could take it out to the ranch where the what do you call it? The other furnace is at, and do that.
May actually still work, kind of, but probably.
So I say we shall see. You just go in stages. You don't assume anything. You say, okay, this could be this. What do I need? What testing do I need to do to figure it out? And go from there. If you skip steps, you can very easily regret it. Because you hit off on the wrong track by the time you figure it out. Guess what? You've lost the time and maybe a lot of money. So I say that's the thing. When we went up there the first time, 2 weeks ago, like there's plenty of stockpiles of rock around here. We'll just pick those up. Since we have the RC46, it's pretty easy. Pick up some rocks, put it in buckets, haul it down the hill, haul it back to the ranch, crush it up, pan it out. Okay? And so that I say led to some interesting results. We still didn't get an assay. Hello, Jean-Francois.
Hi, Jean-Francois.
But from there, I say, rather than assay stuff that we really don't know where it came from anyhow, let's just go ahead and get some good samples. And that way, when we do get an assay, we know what it means.
Would be nice.
Okay. So I feel very comfortable. We did a great job of sampling the rock in place. Okay. We got quite a few samples at different places and all of stuff that they were interested in. So from there, we should be able to derive enough data to make some preliminary decision. In order to go much further on this, we'd have to get a little bit more involved. Not too much. Wouldn't be too hard to set up a high line. The problem is for the for the Hilti, is again, it's 120 feet from the road, so we'd have to hike a generator up the hill just a little bit, get it within 100 feet of the generator, which would be a pain. If we were to blaze a trail around, which would be easy to do, okay, not difficult at all. That might require a notice of intent or a plan of operation. I'm thinking for something as minimal as we're talking about, probably a notice of intent. Just basically flatten a few things enough, move some rocks to the side so you can drive a quad over it. Yeah. You know, when we're done, we'll just rake it smooth.
On BLM.
Yeah, this is BLM. And so if we get some good assays, it shouldn't be too difficult to get some sort of exploitation. Don't need any mercury or the copper plates, John, but somebody else might. The gold visible, just tarnished by the elements. There's very little what appears to be free milling gold as yellow gold. There could be quite a lot of electrum that is not readily discernible from the sulfides or other silver colored heavies. So there could be a lot of gold, but due to the initial assay that we did years ago, it's not the preliminary assumption. It by no means has been excluded. Okay? So these are the sort of things we need to figure out. The two other openings that Eva found, neither one had giant dumps around it, so the presumption is the underground workings are modest. And neither one had a clearly discernible, highly
defined.
Kind of defined, yeah, mineralized zone.
However, they are right in line.
Not yet, Brian. Again, I wanted to see where it came from first. So both of these other places seem to be shattered zones in the rock, maybe had mineralization put in between the fragments. In neither case was I equipped at the time to go down into them. That decline on the far side of the drainage, that one would be pretty easy to get in.
Yeah.
Just need a safety rope to climb down in there safely, but it's a decline, so it shouldn't be too hard at all.
Well, I find it interesting their placement with respect to.
Yeah, Well, and I'm not too sure about this across the road thing either. I was hopeful that when we got out there and started looking carefully, that we could see a fault line, that we could kind of follow the trace on the surface. And I didn't see anything like that. Did you, little one? Yeah.
Nope.
So I don't know what's going on there. As far as I can see, it's been broken up pretty chaotic. I'm not sure what the heck is going on. Again, don't try and make assumptions too early because it leads you down the wrong path. So that's.
But I found things.
Yeah. Well, she was really quite vigorous this week. We went out Wednesday to help Lauren.
Actually, I think it was Thursday.
Might have been Thursday. Yeah, I think it was. But we were doing some rearranging of stuff, and there was a couple of large chopping blocks for splitting wood on. And I was doing something, and I came back, and I mean, she'd taken a round about this big, flipped it up on its side by herself, and then I said, well, go ahead and roll it out of the way here. So, because we had to clear a little area to do some work. And then Friday, out of across the road, while I was working around the whole safing the situation, cleaning out debris, there was quite a few overhanging loose rocks and stuff that I needed to clean up. And she went frolicking off. Now, this wasn't too bad because we had good cell phone reception, so she could always just call me if she had a problem. But we went and did two separate things. I was just doing hard handwork to clean everything up and get it a safe method for entry, while she went frolicking off, and I didn't see her for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. And she came back with a pretty heavy backpack and seemed to have a good time.
And videos.
Yeah.
And I geotagged everything.
So anyhow, he was doing pretty good this week. I was pretty impressed. Now, He-Man sent the carburetor. It showed up last week. It's missing the choke plate, but he said he found it, so he'll be sending it to me. But he also sent a couple of rocks. And they look kind of like this. Okay? Now, anyone got any guesses what these might be? Because we were pretty able to definitively determine their exact nature. But
I determined. I guessed. Well, no, actually, I figured.
But anyhow, so
If anybody's got any guesses on what this rock is, nah, not uranium ore.
No,
it's not yellow.
Not pitch blende. No, pitch blende would be black.
Yeah, I know.
Or wolframite, no. Define road fill, David. You mean just like asphalt base course thing, or what?
Yeah.
Well, Honey Bunny's right. It's old blacktop. It's chunks of old blacktop that have been rounded in a running stream. And you can get a better look if you take a look here, and then look at the fresh face and see how everything is black. These other faces, you have a clean surface where you've got obvious clasts, little rocks and stuff of various sizes that are kind of rounded a little bit and everything. When you broke it, it was just all black. That was interesting. Then we took this little chunk right here and just heated it in a flame. And it started smoking and smelling like asphalt. So we were able to conclusively demonstrate that what we have here is a historical artifact.
Yep, totally. Phenocryst.
Phenocryst. You could call it a phenocryst or a clast, either one. If it was I'm not sure if phenocryst is technically correct for a wide variety of things, but I think they basically are. Phenocryst basically means a little rock as part of a bigger rock.
Well, it's a rock. It's technically a conglomerate.
You know what I was thinking, little one?
What?
We got that microscope there that we could use to do the thing for the
absolutely
silver stuff too. But anyhow,
I mean, I like them.
We'll get better pictures of the silver stuff next batch of samples here. But anyhow, so these rocks here are actually old asphalt. Absolutely.
Which is, it's kind of cool to look at, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, when I guessed that it was asphalt right away, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this microscope here gives real good resolution to your eye. It doesn't match up to a smartphone very well.
Crappy.
It's got an interface that just...
Now, I have a nice little macro lens that I can put on my smartphone.
Yeah, but this one has a lot higher magnification. It is kind of nice, too, when you're doing the regular illumination, and then you get the ultraviolet, it turns off the other one. See, little one?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of cool. So, anyhow, that was an interesting
it's
little...
blacktop.
Yep. Sure is. So, no soup for you. Anyhow, that was a little puzzle too.
Yeah, it was kind of, we love getting rocks in the mail.
Now, once I get all the stuff on hand, then I plan on like a day of doing leach testing, where I'm testing to see what the dissolution speed of the gold leaf is. In the various solutions. As I recall, Brian, with the glycine, you needed oxidizer, and we have we have some OxyClean, but did you have to use oxidizer, or was it beneficial to use oxidizer with the Eco Goldex? I know that said that slightly elevated temperatures, I believe it's like 130 degrees Fahrenheit, was desirable to increase the speed of dissolution. Send me stuff. It's in the filing cabinet there. I'll start looking at it when I'm ready to actually start doing some experiments. But still planning on experimenting with glycine, EcoGold-X, and sodium thiosulfate side by side with the gold leaf as target so that we can clearly see how long it takes to dissolve. That was a great test that Brian came up with. Superlative for giving consistent, clean data. And I'll get on that.
You know, I'm beginning to wonder whether we would be advised to occasionally subject other rocks to keep kind of vapor staying out.
Well, you're looking at a lot of times, like with this silver stuff, once you concentrated it, yeah, then you generally heat that, see what kind of reaction you get. Because I'm pretty sure those are sulfides in there, although I've never seen porous sulfide.
No, neither have I.
No, that's kind of weird.
There's something going on.
Clearly, some of the stuff has holes in it. You know, it doesn't have the typical like cubic shape, crystal form most sulfide. Look, so I'm not sure. I don't think it's specular hematite, although hematite can actually occur in a form that looks like that. It can be nice shiny silver, looks like galena.
Well, I would certainly think so. I mean, I've seen polished hematite rock that.
Take care, Jean-Francois. Good luck. But anyhow, so I say we shall see what we shall see. But still waiting on those sulfides from down south too. Once it shows up, I got days worth of testing to do on that also.
Yeah, I would like to get a chance at some point to get back out to our own plant, see if we can find some of our sulfides. There are supposed.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to open up the attic to do that. Can you lean closer to the microphone? Well, I certainly can. Is that doing any better, Mr. Virtue? It's only 24 inches away. Is that good enough? Magnetic. I don't know if specular hematite's magnetic.
I don't.
I'm not sure.
I know that I always wanted to find out what they do to make those hematite magnets.
Yeah, I think that it what do they call that? Paramagnetic? I mean, I think you can induce a magnetic moment into it. So anyhow, really tight.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Do what I can here. So anyhow, I'm not sure what that stuff is, but we'll get it figured out. I don't.
Did find exactly one rock that looks like it's got stuff in it.
Do you know if specular hematite is magnetic, Brian? Because I think I got a magnet over here.
Well, you tried cleaning the sand with the magnet and nothing. He'll be right back, people. And Brian says yes, it should be.
Well, leave us see.
Yeah, maybe it's a hematite mine. That would be kind of cool.
Don't see anything.
No. Well, I guess it's not a hematite mine.
Not really. There's a couple little pieces, but that's it.
Bummer. Yeah, a couple of little pieces might well be graphite.
Could be. Or they could be magnetite. So, I say, it's indeterminate at this time. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's frustrating because I got like a gazillion things to do with the sulfides. One thing that I really want to do is see if I can maybe come up with a better better faster method for them to get the gold supercons out of their vacuum gold line concentrates down in Central America there. I suspect their methodology is not super efficient, but I think it's time for another Skype meeting to see exactly how they're doing it now and go from there. But it should be pretty easy to do. The what I got test here.
He'll be right back, guys. Well, you never know because you just kind of wander off screen doing your own little thing there.
Yeah. Now these cans I bought locally here, made in China.
Yeah, all of a sudden our Ace Hardware has all kinds of great gold and stuff.
This product can expose you to chemicals including bisphenol A, which is known to the state of California to cause birth defects or other reproductive harm. For more information, go to www.p65warnings.ra.gov. Wow. Doesn't have any other identification. Oh, there's something there. What is it? It says SE, registered trademark. Anyhow, the idea is you have the fine riffles here, and you got big riffles here, and already got them. So, okay, well, whatever they've got, I'm sure there's something. Because we were, I don't know, May? Were we Skyping or were we doing something else, little one? Do you remember?
It was Teams or
Yeah.
it was one of the various.
Yeah. Anyhow, my idea is to take one pan, put it down there. Take another pan, put a modest load of sulfides with free gold in it. And I don't know how much free gold is going to be in the stuff they're sending up here. I'm kind of relying on the assumption that they're not super efficient. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Zoom meeting. Yeah, I think that's it. Zoom.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But anyhow, and just shake it and then go like this. And what'll happen is the gold on the bottom of the pan moves slower to the rim than the sulfides that are higher up. So if you do that and you just go like this, you should wind up with a line of gold right here and maybe the first couple of riffles. And you just suck that out with a vacuum flask. And then take this pan and do the same the other way. And I suspect that by doing that repeatedly and rapidly, you can get pretty good recoveries and pretty high quality gold concentrates ready for smelting pretty easily. But let's say we shall see what we shall see. I haven't seen their latest methodology. In what, a couple months? So anyhow, yeah, a vacuum flask is a whole lot better than a snifter bottle. A snifter bottle is
snifter bottles are ridiculous.
Well, Sarah, in this case, this is not going to be used on dirt. It's being used on 100 mesh minus concentrates from a mill. That's the plan. So therefore, everything's smaller than 100 mesh to begin with, because it had to go through a 100 mesh screen.
And it's pretty much classified.
And so it should be...
Gemini table.
Well, there's lots of $1,000 upon $1,000 upon $1,000 ways of doing stuff that don't necessarily work any better than this for what we're doing.
We're also trying to train people to use pans for instant.
Yeah, it's already classified, John.
Results.
It's already 100% 100 mesh minus. But say something like a Gemini table or whatever, it was, say, first of all, it's very expensive. Okay. This is less than $15. I suspect I can take their 10 pounds or so of a vacuum concentrates, vacuum gold line concentrates. Actually, I think it's probably only going to be like 5 pounds, and pan it out in about 10 minutes. And you don't have to ship stuff internationally and wait.
The other thing is we want to try to get people to use gold pans as a diagnostic tool. They have 4 tables set up right now. There should be somebody going around with a pan that can say, hey, for some reason, we're getting too many pyrites showing up in our number 3.
Well, they actually tested some of the, when you have a table, you got your number 1 output, discharge, number 2, number 3, and then your tailings. Okay. And it's almost universal that people focus on the wrong thing. Okay. It's real, because people focus on the gold, and that's just absolutely natural. But that's not what you need to focus on. You need to focus on your tailings. Because if you're getting rid of 90 to 95% of the material and it doesn't have any gold in it, where is the gold? It's the other stuff. If you're focusing on the stuff that's got gold in it, you're not paying attention to the tailings. And that's where your losses occur. Okay? So you want to focus on the tailings first. But that is not natural. Okay? It's just not the way the human mind tends to work. It's a learned behavior.
Yeah, and if you don't have an on-site testing lab to run 1,000 assays a day like the big boys do, you want to have something where you can grab a sample, you can look at it and say, okay, something's going on here, or okay, nothing's going on here. That's what a pan's for.
Yeah. Say, this is not the pan I normally use. The reason is this vertical lip down here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, that vertical lip. That is counterproductive for the highly precise testing for microfine gold. Okay, there's some hydrodynamics going on that doesn't do as well with my technique. Okay, but the pan here is used. I got these for a very, very specific purpose. Okay. Now the other pan will do real good sensitivity. I mean, I can, under normal circumstances, find gold down to less than 1 part per million. okay, with the pan in less than 5 minutes. Once it's crushed, I can pan it all the way down, get to the finish, less than 5 minutes. This would allow a competent technician to monitor the processes in real time very well. And then you can adjust and adapt and say, okay, we're getting too much gold in the tailings. We're getting too much sulfides in the tailings. It's presumed, unproven at this time, but extremely likely, that these sulfides have a lot of entrained gold, something around $1 a gram. For every gram of sulfides, you got about $1 of gold, plus or minus at this point. Okay, and so we need to be careful not to lose much in the way of sulfides. Also, sulfides unfortunately tend to float like the dickens. And so you have to be very careful to make sure that it's not getting away in the tailings. For example, as your slurry comes out of the distribution channel, your primary input distribution channel, your sulfides can already be floating on top of the surface. So you might need to put a wiper on it to push everything underneath the surface. Just basically a sheet of rubber on top that's just laying on top of the water and just pushing everything down. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you may need, as Muscle Up says, lots of jet dry. Unfortunately, the way they're set up right now, they're not recirculating most of this water. Okay? So there's various things you can do, but you have to know you need to do them. I mean, you don't want to do anything you don't need to do. It's just a matter of waste. You're wasting chemicals, you're wasting effort, you're wasting equipment, you're reducing productivity, whatever. If it's not necessary, if it doesn't pay for itself, don't worry about it. Okay? So you start out with minimalist and then go up a little bit, or you start out throwing the kitchen sink at it and then start pulling stuff out and seeing what's important. But in order to know what's happening, you need to be able to see a pan gives you results in minutes at virtually no cost. You're already there anyway. Okay.
Yeah, so you could make adjustments on your tables every 10 minutes.
You can try something. You can put a wiper. Let's suppose you're panning your tailings. You're not getting any free gold to speak of, but you are getting sulfides. Put a wiper on it. What happened? Okay? I mean, you could just have somebody literally hold it there for a few minutes while you test that. Very, very cheap and quick. Do it, test it, see what happens. And then you go from there. You can sit there and with one table, thought you were going for production. Where? Down in Central America, they're in production. Okay? But they're less than efficient right now. Okay? So, short of, trying to get down there without a passport, there's a...
Yeah, they're in production, but their production system is not working properly.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to help out by remote control, basically. That's where the Zoom meetings and stuff can be helpful. Because when I tell someone what to do, and I can say, okay, take the pan, shake it side to side, and then lower the rim relatively briskly. Well, what does shake side to side briskly mean? What does tip fairly rapidly? You know? Yeah, it could be, Brian. I agree. That's why we need to test. Again, I'm trying to deal with people who have not been trained in this for years.
He is dealing with people who are addicted to watching every Gold Rush franchise show Discover ever put out.
Yeah. I say, so it's difficult to get through the clutter when you're only talking to them every 2 or 3 days. You know, if I could be there every day, 8 hours a day, things would move a lot quicker. Absolutely. So, I say, this is what I'm trying to do. It's challenging for everybody. So, we shall see what we shall see. But I wish I had some sulfides so I could be doing that part there. Hello, Red Wing. And
hi, Red Wing.
The one thing that most people don't realize is just how, when you're dealing with gold, when you're doing this with the pan, you're relying on the fact that the gold is moving slower and dumping off the tailings on the top. Okay? So it's you don't do it like this because you're giving the gold plenty of time to get to the edge. Okay? You shake it like this, you liquefy it, you get it all on the bottom.
Hi, Jeff. Jeff Kablock's here.
Hey, Jeff.
Exactly, Jeff. We're trying to teach people to use the pan because they're hours away from a lab that takes days to get results, and they have 4 tables that need to be adjusted.
And they're running 10 tons a day.
And they're running 10 tons a day, so they need to know how to.
Yeah, you need to be able to see this in real time. So.
Yeah, how are you, Jeff? Are you here yet?
Yeah. So you shake it, you get the gold near the bottom, and then you do like this and stop. And this stuff on top just sloughs right off, and the gold never makes it to the edge. And then you go back there.
Yeah.
So that's what people don't realize is that you're focusing on the fact that the gold moves slowly across the surface. That's what's doing your work for you. And that's why, I don't know, years ago I made a video hand panning microfine gold with a blindfold, because it started out with
Dan Hurd.
Dan Hurd did the first one.
I think Dan Hurd did the first one. And then Jeff Williams did the second.
He was panning placer gold, and he was doing it blindfolded, and he did a reasonably good job. Okay. And then Jeff Williams took him up on the challenge, and then Jeff Williams added, and I'm going to do it with one hand tied behind my back and blindfolded. So that was pretty cool. I liked that. Then I just went up to it by saying, okay, I'm going to hand pan microfine gold with blindfold. Now I have to have 2 hands because the technique requires 2 hands. But anyhow, so I say it's more difficult because the actual angles are kind of critical for my technique, but I managed to pull it off anyhow. What was that, second try?
Yeah.
I think it was. It wasn't too much. But yeah. So it's the interaction of the gold with the surface.
Oh, it'll be coming next June. We're moving to not get the well till September.
Oh, man.
Man, that really sucks, Jeff.
Are you going to be staying up there near the mines, or where's your general location? If you can say, you know. But I'm just kind of curious where you were planning on actually setting up. But yeah, as I say, it's one of those things that once you've got the intuitive understanding of where the gold is moving, it's tough. Okay. One thing I did 2 years ago was with the microfine gold, which this was from what was it, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ryan. Anyhow, he had stuff that was very similar.
Jefferson County. Okay. Could be right down the road from us. Could be over in Jefferson County.
Okay. So anyhow,
We gonna be next door neighbors.
yeah, it was roughly equivalent to the stuff from top of the hill. And I took a pan and I shook it out. The question was, how fast does the gold get to the bottom? Which is an important criterion. Now, I used what I call the Paleolithic MRI. Okay? Because you want to know where the gold is in 3 dimensions. But how do you tell that? Well, when you're shaking it, if you stop, the charge freezes in place. And you just let it settle.
This gold will be 5,000 and silver 50 or more. Jeff, it would not surprise me in the least.
I would agree. Would not be surprising in the slightest. So then, once you've got it...
I want the silver. Y'all can keep the yellow stuff.
Once you got the charge frozen, you can literally take it apart, layer by layer, place by place, whatever you want to do, and then pan those separately. And you can essentially interpret where the gold is in the pan at the point at which you just stop shaking. So that was very useful. It turns out that the gold was on the bottom of the pan in like 15 seconds. It was, I believe all the gold was like in the bottom 1/3 of the pan, the charge, in about 15 to 30 seconds. It's been a while, but it's pretty darn fast. So
yeah, I'm expecting that we're going to see some serious movement in both silver and gold. But I think silver may end up moving a little bit on the faster side these days.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that it takes a while to get a good intuitive feeling of where the gold is.
Yeah. Exactly, Jeff. Oh, I want to test. I want to get my hands on a good silver mine first.
Well, right now, I'm spending a lot of time with the Central America project, and I'm going to be doing a lot of research basically for that. And presumably this winter, we're going to spend a couple weeks probably down in Central America.
Well, a couple of times this week, silver has crested over 40 in a few markets, and I'll tell you, the local retail demand is...
Yeah. So, anyhow, next summer, I don't know. We will see what we shall see.
Oh, next summer, I think we're going to find ourselves a new project.
Oh, I think so. Well, right now we're getting more interesting projects than we can deal with. I would say this right here, oh, it's like pulling teeth.
Well, this is frustrating because you're not right there. There's nothing to do about it.
Well, it's not just being there, but they can't even get me the samples.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you, if he finds a good mine for yours truly, I will be happy to have company. Yep.
So, I say that I should have been working on this 2 months ago. You know, but they can't get me the damn sample. Just so frustrating.
Excellent price, though. We need to start looking for a place to live ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we shall see what happens because it's going to depend upon what we're doing. I mean, we've got, oh, what do you call it? Got lots of stuff to do. I probably need a shop. You know, that's pretty obvious.
Yep.
But why set up when you're
Farmer John says, I'll sell you a sample. Well, we need the ore from down there to run tests on. Ore is very specific shit.
Yeah. So, I say this is I got to know what their ore does. You know? So that's the way it is. But yeah, we're working on getting me some. I may have to start out with a relatively modest amount, like a kilo or two, but we shall see. They might make a breakthrough somewhere where it's like, oh, this is all we have to do. You know?
Getting anything done in third world countries seems to be very difficult.
Getting things done. How you want to try and do something with the Forest Service up here?
No, but then again, I mean, I take one look. You know me. When you say, well, there's this claim over here we could look at, and I see the U.S. Forest Service symbol, I'm like, oh, hell no. You went and stuck us with a Forest Service sign already. Woohoo! I mean, if I had my
Hey Jeff,
way,
well, while you're here, last year or maybe in the year before, you're talking about letting us get about 10 tons of ore
dump.
For a dump for testing. Is that still practical at this point? Because we could move that to the ranch, and that would give us a lot of stuff to work on.
Heck, I tell
Hey, P-Man.
Hi, P-Man.
Got the carburetor. Thank you. Of course, you knew that. Found out what your rocks are. This is old asphalt.
And blacktop.
Yeah, it's asphalt concrete, old road surface. It's obviously been run through a water flow somewhere, rounded and etc. But when you break it apart and then
Set it on fire,
take a torch and heat it, yeah, it starts smoking and smelling just like asphalt.
But it's real pretty stuff.
So that's what it is.
I mean, personally, this piece is going in my collection anyway because it's good looking stuff.
Well, it's also good to be able to sit there and say, now, don't be misled by this. Yeah, because it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out exactly what it was. And it's like, well, it gouges pretty easy and stuff.
I said right
and she
from
said,
the get-go,
is that asphalt? So I broke a piece of it. And the fractured surface was all black, which is what you expect with asphalt, although the weathered surface was not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely fine, Jeff.
I understand. That's what I thought I'd ask. But, so that's what it is, P-Man. It is asphalt.
But thank you very much for sending it. I'm going to put this.
Go ahead and put the address there, little one.
I'm going to put this chunk that we did not busticate right in my little collection of stuff.
No problem, Jeff. I say I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, he went and got us a couple of claims this year based on historic records. And I took a look and I sighed in great discouragement because they're Forest Service. We ain't gonna be able to get with
it. At the moment, we'll see how Forest Service changes. Things are pretty dynamic right now, little one.
Ah, yeah.
So,
You keep thinking those happy thoughts. I want BLM or private.
yeah,
That would be very nice, Jeff.
yeah, I appreciate it, Jeff. I'm gonna be spending, if the stuff in Central America works out well, I'm gonna be spending more time developing equipment processes than I have been in the past, because it'll be to apply down there, but then it's the same stuff that will apply other places. Like the leaching systems and stuff. There is a book you need. What is this book you speak of, Jeff?
Yeah, because we do have that one. We also have that one from the can of mine.
I am waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, what's the book?
But anyhow, so that's my thought. I may be spending a lot of time on processes and equipment this winter. And so we might be in pretty good shape to test some stuff. Save the pine cone. That's just bizarre, John.
Yeah, save the pine cones my butt.
Well, that would hurt your butt. But
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
so anyhow, um, that's kind of the plan. It's a very rough plan at this point, but I have the design for the uh, impact mill, the upgraded, upsized impact mill. It's all drawn out, but it hasn't been broken down to individual diagrams with dimensioning and stuff like that. And then I've also got the initial design um, of the sulfide roasting
Okay, I
tube
got that
furnace.
letter.
Okay. And so that will require a couple things to be purchased first, like the drive, etc. Written by Robin McCullough. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we got that one.
we know Rob.
We've met him and we have his book.
Which one is
Matter
it?
of fact, we went to his lecture.
We might very well have his book.
Yeah, I know we got his book
Is
on
that the
plaster.
one on plaster testing?
Yeah, I his lecture that we went to out there in Butte was amazing.
Is it this one, Jeff?
Yeah. That excellent book.
Yeah. He was a nice guy, too.
Totally. He signed a copy.
That's
I don't
fine.
know if he signed ours. We had him sign a copy that we gave away here on the channel right after we
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
We only asked him to sign.
Well, that was a good teacher, Jeff. But anyhow, so that's
Oh, and by the way, the yellow-legged frogs are an actual, apparently endangered.
well, of course, that's why they're looking for him. Then they
Yeah.
shut you down. Eva's got a really funny kind of story. And so whenever we're kind of done doing the actual mining stuff, she's got a pretty funny thing here to read. But yeah, DNA digestion after HCl. Clear result. Let's see. with one rinse, 10 drops of MIBK over.
He's an excellent teacher. His lectures were just freaking amazing.
0.005 mil KD3 indicator gives clear result on pack rat. Okay. So this was some stuff we were testing probably over at Lawrence. Chloronitric acid digestion after HCl pretreatment. Still a lot of iron in the MIBK. 50 parts per million AR standard plus KD3 gives clear and modest result. Water acid washroom flows develop. Okay. Now hold on. Jeff says he is on YouTube, CFBU, RM1, Wilderness, BC. That's Robin McCulloch. He's got a channel. Is that his channel, Jeff? Okay, well, that data has been superseded. I still remember the attempting to use aqua regia to digest the gold off of the resin. That was fun. Yeah, thermal runaway. Yep. That it was.
Lauren would have a little more sense. I guess somebody else was borrowing your one of the cars.
So he tells you all about mining in your area. Is that, again, is that Robert McCulloch? Robin McCulloch? Or somebody else? Jeff?
Apparently, people in California have actually had run-ins with Forest Service.
I don't know about in California.
Oh, another place. No, the sign that they're showing online, endangered species.
Oh yeah.
Prediction concerning the yellow lake frog.
Okay, Jeff. Cool. We'll go ahead and check that out.
John Faber says I tried that and it didn't go well.
Yeah. So does everyone want to hear the funny story about the what was it, a fish and game sort of thing, looking for yellow-legged frogs?
Well, that's what I.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. I'll check that out.
Absolutely, I love that dude. Him and Geology Upskill.
Yeah, Geology Upskill is pretty.
I like him.
Pretty smart guy there too. We really need to try and get on his pay side.
Yeah.
And stuff. Okay. Give it to Eva here.
I was gonna move over there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you got something that's covering stuff now.
This was this is an object lesson in how the heck you handle yo-yo. Okay? As in government yo-yos, of which there are many. So the dude got a letter from the Department of Fish and Wildlife that began, "Dear landowner, WDFWR staff will be conducting surveys for foothill yellow-legged frogs and other amphibians over the next few months. As part of this research, we would like to survey the creek on your property. I'm writing this letter to request your permission to access your property. Recent research indicates foothill yellow-legged frogs have declined significantly in recent years and are no longer found at half their historic sites. Your cooperation will be greatly appreciated and will help contribute to the conservation of this important species. Please fill out the attached postage paid postcard and let us know if you're willing to let us cross your property or not. If you have any concerns, blah, blah. Response to Mr. Nemmel, the Fish and Wildlife dude. Dear Mr. Nemmel, thank you for your inquiry regarding accessing our property to survey for the yellow-legged frog. We may be able to help you in this matter. We've divided our 2.26 acres into 75 equal survey units with a draw tag for each unit. Application fees are $8 per unit after you purchase the frog survey license, $120 for resident, $180 non-resident. You will also need to obtain a frog habitat parking permit, $10 per vehicle. You will need an invasive species stamp, $15 for the first vehicle and $5 for each additional vehicle, and want to register at the check station to have your vehicle inspected for non-native plant life prior to entering our property. There's also a day use fee of $5 per vehicle. If you're successful in the draw, you will be notified 2 weeks in advance so you can make the necessary plans and purchase your creek habitat stamp, $18 resident, $140 non-resident. Survey units open between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., but you cannot commence survey until 9 a.m. and must cease all survey activity by 1 p.m. Survey gear can only include a net with a 2-inch diameter made of 100% organic cotton netting with no longer than an 18-inch handle, non-weighted, no deeper than 6 foot from net frame to bottom of net. Handles can only be made of BPA-free plastic or wooden handles. After 1 p.m., you can use a net with a 3-inch diameter if you purchase the frog net endorsement, $75 residents, $250 non-residents. Any frogs captured that are released will need to be released with an improved release device back into the environment unharmed. As of June 1, we are offering draw tags for our premium survey unit, and application is again $8 per application. All fees can be waived if you verify Native Indian tribal rights and status. You will need to provide evidence of successful completion of frog surveys and your comprehensive course on frog identification, safe handling process, and self-defense strategies for frog attacks. This course is offered online through an accredited program by us for a nominal fee of $750. Please let us know if we can be of assistance. Otherwise, we decline your access to our property, but we appreciate your inquiry. I like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's pretty unique, Sarah.
No, that is a beautiful, beautiful example of how to handle a bureaucrat. Now, the comments on that particular X post are full of people that actually have had run-ins with various Forest Service agents and other yo-yos in various parts of the country where this frog apparently abides. And, yeah, it does not go well. Because apparently they close the area to all public entry and other bullshit, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, John, that's what the tinfoil hat is for. The tinfoil hat with the deluxe ears and brass deflector bow is designed to baffle bureaucrats. That's what it's for. It strikes fear in the heart of bureaucrats.
That was kind of weird if for the hat.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
I'm thinking that the next time I have to talk to an IRS agent or go to a city council meeting, I'll happily wear it. You just have to make me a larger deflector bow. Bureaucracy is catching, dude. Bureaucracy is catching. And yes, according to Brock, who is delusional and full of shit, but oh well. Yes, this really happens. Since 2005, parts of Angeles National Forest, including sections off Angeles Crest Highway, like Williamson Rock and PCT trails, have been closed permanently to protect the endangered mountain yellow-legged frogs. Fines of up to $5,000 apply. See United States Forest Service updates for details.
So that would be the same Los
Told
Angeles
you.
National Forest that burned to the ground.
Well, yeah.
Well, did you guys hear about the situation in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, where due to the fear of wildfires, you are now no longer to go into the forest. You can't hike, you can't fish, you can't do anything, and the fee is
Wow.
$25,000 fine.
Wildlife experts have been working for a decade to save this species, which was nearly wiped out by a deadly fungal disease. Just saying. The LA Zoo released 450 endangered southern mountain yellow-legged frog tadpoles into the wild streams in Southern California.
Honey Bunny would like to share that.
Oh, yeah.
What's the identification?
This person had it on X, and I'm getting to the top of the post again so that we can see here. Good. Oh, let me find it again. This guy is Keith Messinger on X. It's Messinger Keith is his @ on X. He's an old green beanie pissed off at what the country's become. The devil whispers fear the storm. The old warrior replies, I am the storm. So I like this guy. He's in Dublin, California, and he puts in parentheses, sadly.
As a general rule, if a government agent wants to inspect your property for an animal or a plant,
say no. But Honey Bunny, I will tell you, I found it again on X because I ran into it earlier, and you know how quickly everything disappears on X. I found it again by just putting yellow-legged frogs in the search bar and hitting search. And it turned up thousands of posts concerning these yellow-legged frogs because apparently this story was at the top because it basically went viral. But apparently it was like National Frog Day yesterday.
Aww.
Hi, Douglas. But yeah, apparently it was National Frog Day yesterday. But beyond that, yes, we are still awaiting the samples from Central America so we can get to work doing some testing. Testing, and more testing.
Well, we're also waiting for the last few items so that I can start the leak testing on various solutions.
Yeah, that too. I mean, we got solutions to need testing, I'm sure. Just saying, so let's see what precious metals are doing today. Just to see. It has been my personal contention since the beginning of the year.
Welcome, Honey Bunny.
Hi, Waveslave. It's been my personal contention since the beginning of the year that our new practical floor for silver was going to be 35, and our new practical floor for gold was going to be about 3,400. Okay, so where we are today is gold is at 33.55 and 20 cents, up 13 bucks. Silver is currently at 37.74, up 20 cents. Platinum's at 13.37, up 11 bucks. Palladium's at 11.46, up $1. And rhodium ain't doing shit. It's still at 68.50. Flat. Nothing really ever happens.
Oh, and there is a possibility. Now, I don't know. The people doing the analysis of the gold buttons being made down in Central America gave an analysis of so much gold, so much silver, so much lead, so much copper. But the one that was interesting was they actually found like 0.1% Iridium.
So they claim.
Now, I need to know how they're doing that. If it's XRF, I'd be highly suspect.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're doing an actual bullion assay, I don't trust anything they say.
Yeah,
Okay?
XRF is known to have platinum group interference and other common elements.
Well, the thing is, really, realistically, if you're going to be selling your Oh, Jeff, I would love to see a silver book written by Robin. I love the way that man teaches. It's my personal opinion that if you're actually going to be um selling your gold Doré bars to anybody, it had better be to a reputable refiner in the United States. I don't trust anybody overseas. But beyond that, if you're going to go anywhere else with them, you should be getting a bullion assay or spending the extra money to send it to a refiner so you get back serial numbered bars, because that's when people will pay you what the shit's actually worth. I mean, pretty much a given. Oh, and in other random news, I'm making big money playing video games online. Go figure.
Well, big money.
Well, yeah. When you get to make couple of $100 a month playing games, what's wrong with that? Just
Nothing.
gotta say.
Nothing. For most people, it's not a big buck.
Well, I mean, it certainly gets us out of a shopping trip at Costco, does it?
Yeah. And Eva's also spending a lot of effort right now working on her new pet snake, Monty Python.
Well,
We found a aquarium over at the thrift store the other day. A big
yes,
one.
it's glass. It's not PVC. That said, I mean, it's pretty much the size it needs to be for an adult snake, and it was $15. Okay.
Yeah, it's about an 80-gallon aquarium. 2 foot.
Oh, bigger than that.
It's 2 foot by 4 foot by a foot and a half deep. It's
Yeah, so it's
$15.
Yep. I really enjoyed talking to him when we ran into him over there in Butte, Jeff. I love going to Butte anyway.
Too bad he's retired, so to speak.
Well, I will switch places with him again. But yes, silver and gold are still on sale. Miracles do occur. Back up the truck.
Ugh.
There's nobody in their right mind. Right.
Ugh.
Ridiculous idea.
Anyhow, that's basically the status of things at the moment. And lots of irons in the fire, but the fire is burning a lot more gently than I'd like at times.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, some of these things, there's just not much I can do. But we're working on them, so we shall see.
Really.
The new mines to the west, is that like the I know there was some that were also rare earths, but
I know he said the last time we ran into him, it was going to be a project. You're
well,
very welcome, Mr. Virtue.
he was working in Butte on
Yeah.
one at that time, reopening one of the mines there.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. I don't think we'll be seeing the platinum mines reopening yet. The costs just don't.
Yeah, well, what's the name of it? Oh, mine is getting so bad.
I know the one you mean. We
Yeah.
just had one go into like permanent repair
Yeah.
recently.
Well, there's only one platinum mine in Montana.
Yeah.
You know. What is the update on the prospect south of the border?
The one in
Central America. Well, again.
No samples have arrived yet.
Yeah, the sample hadn't shown up yet. We're trying to improve their methodologies in the mill by remote control. I just got some information. Oh, there. But they're working production issues in terms of getting more mining production to the mill. They're working on improving the functionality of the mill, the efficiency of the mill.
And improving accountability, tracking.
Yeah, so they're trying to fix everything they should have designed right then from the get go, but they didn't know what they were doing, and so they've got a lot of catching up to do. They're working hard on it, but we shall see what we shall see.
Well, hopefully they're beginning to realize how important process control.
I think they're getting. I think Brandon especially is figuring out. Man, that pan comes in real handy.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Well, having some weighing, tracking, and process control would come in handy,
Newfangled
too.
induction furnaces where the water cooled copper coil and the welder thingy. Not familiar with it, wage slave.
I haven't seen one yet, but I automatically want it. Okay. I automatically want one.
She's a Zen shopper. Give me one of everything. But anyhow, I haven't seen one of those, wage slave. Coming up with all kinds of weird technology stuff. You know? So we'll see, how well different things work out and then how different manufacturers, of course, make different quality equipment.
I'm
So
going to
we'll
look
see.
up something for myself online.
I can no longer see the comments, so
This is only going to take 1 second, guys.
She's doing something. But I say they're working on a variety of issues down there in parallel. So we shall see what we shall see. There's definite improvements going on, and I'm trying to figure out what I can help with the quickest and easiest with the most effect. One thing, for example, that might help out a lot is if your mining production rate is low, they need to do some sampling of the old dumps to see what the grade is, because based on their mine efforts so far, it's entirely possible that the dumps themselves are suitable for low-grade processing, which would then mean whenever they're running short on mill feed, they can just go to the dumps and grab some of that stuff. And that would allow them to keep the mill running at optimum throughput. Might not be the optimum grade, but by at least obtaining continuous throughput, then they're making money. It appears that they can actually operate profitably well below the original estimated production grade that they were looking at, which means that, again, things like those dumps may turn out to be, yeah, this is nice low grade ore. It doesn't make us much money, but it does turn a profit and it keeps everyone busy and allows everyone to improve their skills.
Negotiation tactics.
Yeah, I think that's negotiation, Douglas.
It doesn't help that the average person has a deep misunderstanding of what a tariff is. Media
yeah. Well, I don't know if Trump isn't maybe overextending the authorization for actual tariffs to where he's trying to use them as sanctions and stuff in some cases too, which may not be legit. And he may get slapped down for that by some courts. It would be nice if courts weren't constantly slapping him around just for the hell of it when they don't have any right to, and have to slap down by the Supreme Court.
Well, half the problem that people actually listen to is relevant
with undue deference. Yeah.
treat them as relevant when they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Biden. The Supreme Court told Biden to stuff it on a few issues. He said, "Screw you, make me," and then just went and did whatever he wanted.
The court has rendered its decision. Now let them enforce it.
Yeah. Well, district courts have no say in the matter, so they should be completely ignored.
Yeah. So we shall see. We got the big meeting between Putin and Trump on Friday. Hopefully that'll resolve a rather substantial issue. J.D. Vance today said that the United States is done funding the Ukraine war. If Europe wants to purchase weapons from the United States in order to give to Ukraine, the United States will be willing to sell them those weapons. But whether that's going to, and how much weapons we actually have to sell is another big question. But I also have grave misgivings as to how good an information the president is getting on which to base his decision. It's clear that the deep state, you wish to call it that, whatever, but there's a lot of bureaucrats that aren't on the same page. That could be some of that too, John. I don't know. It's very complex situation with a lot of very major moving parts in play that it's not obvious exactly what's going on and why and what the ultimate strategy is. How much is distraction? How much is trying to get something somewhere else done? It's just really, really hard to tell. Sometimes he's not as smooth as I would like, but amazingly, he's a lot more successful than it seems to me that he should be. But he manages to pull it off. So I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, he's not really smooth. I will give you that. I would agree with most politicians, honey bunny. I don't think Donald Trump is like that. I could be wrong. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard is like that. She seems to be.
I'm sticking this in the cart right
now. Okay. That's kind of my thought too, Douglas. But I mean, a couple weeks ago, Trump said that since the beginning of the year, Russia's lost 125,000 soldiers and Ukraine has lost 8,000, which I think is wildly inaccurate. If he was being honest, that means he was being dramatically lied to, in my opinion. Okay, I obviously don't have direct access to this stuff. But assuming, for the sake of the argument, that somebody has been feeding him wildly inaccurate information on a situation that could literally lead to World War III, I think those people need to face some consequences. For Ukraine, yeah, that's probably a little high, but yeah. Say, if you change the ratios and reverse them, it would seem more likely to me. Be that as it may, anyone who's deliberately lying to the President of the United States about such a major national security issue needs to be tried for treason or the equivalent thereof. Could be some of the numbers I've seen are a multiple of 2 or 3 times that when you count civilians too, honey bunny. It's a horrible situation over there. So, as I say, to me, the thing that's concerning to me is how can the President of the United States make good decisions if he doesn't have good information? And this is why I think I say anyone who's lying to the President of the United States on something major like that needs to be punished severely so that other people don't get the bright idea that they can get away with it. Because that can lead to horrendous consequences from miscalculations. And the stakes are way too high. You know, some of the chit chat going back and forth is just getting pretty ridiculous. Um, and so we need to take this extremely seriously, and it looks like the president is at this point. So we shall see how it all turns out. But these are big things. Absolutely. They can have huge consequences. Same with the stuff with China. That can have huge economic or possibly other kinds. Did anyone see the video? I'm not sure exactly when it was. It's obviously recent. Well, I'm not even sure if it was obviously recent. But anyhow, I'm pretty sure it was recent. Of the situation where there was a Chinese Coast Guard cutter, a Chinese warship. I'm guessing it was a frigate. I don't think it was a destroyer, but it had a single deck gun on the front that were interacting with a Philippine Coast Guard cutter that was trying to protect some Philippine fishermen. It was hilarious because the Chinese Coast Guard cutter was coming in behind the Filipinos. It had a big water cannon going, and it looked like it was trying to cross to the starboard side, the right side, and hose down the Philippine Coast Guard cutter with the water cannon. When the left side of the frame comes this Chinese warship and just takes the front of the bow of that Coast Guard, that Chinese cutter, right off. I mean, at least the front 20 feet of the ship back to a bulkhead was just sheared completely off. It's like, wow, somebody's going to get in trouble for that one.
Goby. There.
It's just, oh my goodness. I say these are the sort of things that wind up potentially escalating. And we don't need any more escalation right now. We need to get stuff resolved, calm down, focus on economic advancement and such. It's a mess out there. It really is. And it's a mess in our country too, which doesn't help any. So, do you see how many people are on right now?
13.
Okay. But anyhow, so yeah, it is a mess. That is for sure. But hopefully we'll get things straightened out. Trump just took over the police in Washington, D.C. Today. You know, he said the system isn't working well. We're going to take it over. I have the authority, which he does, because I think it was 1970 something or other act by Congress was made D.C. self-governing. It was never, that was not the way it was supposed to be. I agree, honey bunny. And so he basically said, well, you know, I can't do anything about New York or Los Angeles, but I sure as hell can do something about D.C., and I'm going to do it. You know, I'm taking over criminal justice system. So, anyhow, that's, I say, it's a very complex situation. And I I say it. At least it looks like Trump and Putin. I mean, Zelensky's not invited, which is good. They need Trump and Putin need to come out with something, and then just basically tell Zelensky, dude, here it is. You want to keep fighting? The United States is out of it. So I say we shall see. What's his name? Good gracious. Anyhow, Australian. He asked me some questions yesterday about this latest, and so I'm going to make a video of our processing the samples we took, so that we'll have another video up. I keep forgetting. Obviously, not everyone has watched every video, and so I kind of redo that. Yeah, step down. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah, Gruber Ned Jardine. And so that was a nice reminder that, it's been a while since I've shown what we do to the samples once we take them. So that's the plan. I've already got the camcorder. Should be in. Yep, it's in the truck. So we'll crush and split stuff and get us a good, good idea of what's going on initially, and then get probably 2 to 3 samples out to the assay lab and see what he comes up with. And then I will also have some pulverized material, and whatever's the best stuff with that silver, I could pan down quite a bit of it and get a decent sample of that. So that's the basic plan, and hopefully the guys in Central America will get a few other things really quick, and I can get stuff going there. Theoretically, the gold leaf and the copper sulfate should have been here sometime, I presume. So hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. We shall see. No, it was just kind of a list of things for me to touch bases on, Mr. Virtue. It was just, the subjects I needed to cover today. Once I get some idea of the samples that we took this week, I'll probably do a little diagram and show what it looks like and such. But that's about it. Anyone got any subjects or questions or anything anywhere? Again, I'm twiddling my thumbs a bit. See? Twiddling the thumbs.
Oh, wow. That's a cool pie. Looks like a coconut with a little ladder.
He was
hang it.
He was looking at stuff for her snake baby.
Well, yeah. He needs enrichment.
Enrichment for snakes.
Yes.
Now, what did you say about pythons sharing a single brain cell that moves through the quantum universe?
Yeah.
How do you enrich something with a single brain cell?
Because as each of us does our individual part, the brain cell that inhabits the eternal now sees all of our input and becomes infinitely rich. Conversely, if you treat your snake poorly and you do not give it enrichment, it cracks the enrichment of the whole.
Okay.
Really ought to know.
I'm glad to hear you're doing better, honey bunny. Eat the snake frogs. I think he likes warm-blooded prey more.
Actually, in the wild, they're opportunistic predators. They've been known to both frogs.
Yeah.
They prefer birds.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay,
looking
anyone
nice.
else got any subjects or questions or anything at this point? Oh, it was nice to see Jeff here and uh, get a little update on that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get together till next year, but oh well. Yeah, Honey Bunny, things don't often work the way you wish they would. Yep. Life is what happens when we're making other plans. Make hammock.
Yes, I told you we're gonna have two hammocks.
The cool
One in
hammock and the warm hammock.
Exactly. One in the cool area.
Uh, okay, so I guess we'll call that for the week then. And um, we'll get what we can done. Can you please show the pan thing one more time? Well, if little one can show me,
Yeah.
I can't see on.
There you go.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, John.
Whatever it is, John, save it.
Yeah. When
When
in doubt,
try
just
to
save it.
smelt it.
But if you have a pan and you're shaking it like this, and you stick your finger in the charge, okay? Your finger should go right to the bottom. It should, like this, okay? If not, you're not agitating it enough or you don't have enough water or something. Once the charge is fluidized, the gold can settle. The higher density gold will settle through the lower density particles and get to the bottom of the pan. Then, if you take it and just go like this, the gold that's on the bottom of the pan can only go part of the way up this thing before you're done. And the lighter materials, some of it just goes over the edge. Then immediately just bring it back to horizontal, shake it, and the gold comes back down to the bottom of the pan. Then as you do this, again, the gold starts moving towards the edge, but the stuff on top moves much faster. So you can dump usually a quarter to a third of that off and back. The key is don't take your time to get like this, because all that time the gold's working its way forward. Okay? So liquefy, give it time to settle, dump, bring it back. Liquefy, settle, dump, bring it back. It moves real quick that way. Okay? I can finish a pan in less than 5 minutes. I think my standard when I'm trying to be kind of busy is quick is about 3.5 minutes. So it doesn't take that long. Okay? And in the case that we're looking to do is we're going to have, again, once I get some concentrates here, it'll have theoretically a pretty substantial amount of gold in it. And so when I'm doing this, it's going to leave a ring of gold here that I can just suck out. Don't go too slow then. No, you don't want to tilt slowly.
You also want to be smooth.
You want to do it smooth and continue agitation. Okay? Okay? And so keep it agitating. Your finger should be able to go through it at all times. If your finger can go through to the bottom of the pan, so can the gold. And then go like this, and it'll just flow. And the gold will move toward the edge of the pan too, but slower because it's going over the bottom. It's got drag. Okay? And so you should be able to dump about a quarter of it out each time. So you don't want to be so violent that it's splashing all over the place. That's fine for like, what's his name? Jeff Williams or Dan Hurd, because they're dealing with chunks of gold the size of BBs. Okay? We're dealing with stuff the size of salt crystals. So you don't want this where it's splashing everywhere.
If you're lucky, son.
But if you're sitting there just shaking back and forth to where it's fluid but not turbulent, that's good enough. Yeah, I would believe so, honey bunny. Stratification of flow. Exactly, John. So that's the basic idea, Sarah. And we've got videos that kind of demonstrate that, but that's the key, is agitate, liquefy, wait a few, 10, 15 seconds, and dump, bring it back, about 5 seconds, dump, bring it back, wait about 5 seconds, like that. And you're just, that gold is going, and not getting out of the pan. Okay? That's the basic technique. If you're ever around Helena, swinging through, Sarah, get in touch with us and we'll show you how it's done. Okay? Exactly, honey bunny. Get rid of the clean tailings. Say if you can assure that the top half of the stuff in the pan is barren of gold, you dump half of that out, you didn't lose any gold. Okay? Do it again, same thing.
Yeah.
If you get
always go back to the videos and practice.
If you get rid of a quarter of your charge every 10 seconds, it goes fast. That's, as I say, that works fine if you've got coarser gold, wage slave. Yep. And say if you got coarser gold, you just stir it up and it's going to settle right to the bottom, and then you can, take the stuff off the top without a problem. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with the really fine stuff,
Sarah says very soon she'll be heading.
Good. I say, let us know. We'll see if we can't get together. Have us a fun afternoon doing some stuff. All righty. Anyone else got any questions or anything? That's what we're here for. Some guy wrote an email today from Indonesia. He wants more information on stuff. Yeah, you don't even have to have gold. You can use lead. And one thing that is interesting to do, just take like a 1/4-inch nut or something, get your pan going, drop it in there, listen to it when it hits the bottom. Should be less than a second. Should go, bank, And so you don't have to have gold to practice it.
You can even practice with tungsten, since it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, you can buy 500 mesh tungsten. Yeah, so you can get 500 mesh. Tungsten is the same density as gold.
Yeah,
which
they
means
actually sell tungsten in the sporting goods department for adding weight to your golf clubs.
Yep, believe it or not. So, as I say, tungsten works pretty well, but if you get tungsten mixed with your gold, you'll never separate them.
Yeah, he can tell you all about making mistakes with tungsten. But yeah, it turns out that they sell tungsten in little bottles like this in various sizes, and it's used so you can adjust the weight of your golf club.
Yep.
That's what it's for. So you can find it in sporting goods stores and on Amazon.
Yep.
It's cheaper as a golf club adjuster than it is a laboratory.
Yeah, it's not terribly expensive at all. I would agree, Honey Bunny. You want it in the same size. Now, if you're doing placer gold, you can use birdshot. Just take the birdshot and mash it up a little bit so it's not real round. Because real round balls do not behave like nuggets do. You know? Yeah, the problem is it can incorporate into the gold. You almost have to dissolve it. Dissolve the gold, Honey Bunny. it's it's just one of those things that, man, it's a pain. Agreed, Mr. Virtue. Tungsten way hotter than gold. Yep.
Yeah, he messed up his tungsten. It was very, very much swearing happened.
Anyhow, any other questions or anything? I don't know if it wouldn't interact at all. I mean, it's going to tend to be in the bottom of the cone mold, just like the gold would be. Tungsten's got that same 19.1 density that gold does. It'd be under the magnetite. There might be, I'm sure there's some chemical ways you could dissolve it, one or the other. You could probably dissolve it in aqua regia and then use the.
It was just pretty funny to discover that they used it to adjust the weight of golf clubs.
Of course, the gold will be liquid, Honey Bunny, but then so is solder. Does it separate from the copper?
Well, anyway.
Okay. Anyhow, so I'm going to call it a night here. I'm going to see if I got an email from the boys down south.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Hopefully, we'll have a video up in about 2 days on processing these samples and how the panning turned out. I'm going to put
this cool rock with my other rocks.
Okie dokie.
Excellent.
All righty. Well, you guys take care. Good night. Stay safe. Glad you're doing better, Honey Bunny.
Happy prospecting. Stay safe out there.
Do you want to do the thingy? Turn us off. Okay. That's not a bad one, David.
All right. Good night, everybody.